I hate to be this guy, but the future of Diablo 4 seems to be saved. Don't take my word for it though. Let me present you what they just announced at the Blizzcon fireside chat. For Season 2 already on the 7th November, for the 5th of December with the bonus endgame, and then how Season 3 leaderboards Gauntlet are going to work, which is going to make the game replayable on a weekly basis, even if you have everything done already. First, 7th November, that is brand new uniques. 5 unique rings are coming, the Malignant rings, and you get them for killing Varshan. Yes, already start saving your materials. Stop killing Varshan right now. We're going to be farming him after the 7th of November. These 5 new Malignant rings are going to bring back powers from Season 1. There's a link in the description below with all the rings, but let me show you what the Necro has to offer. And here we're talking about the Ring of the Sacrilegious Souls. Lucky hit chance, maximum life, maximum essence, plus 3 ranks to all corpse skill, plus 3 ranks to all corpse skills. You automatically activate following equipped skills on corpses around you: Raise Skeleton, Corpse Explosion, Corpse Tendrils. Corpse Explosion is every 1 second, Tendrils is every 8 seconds, Skeleton is every 1 second. But you need to have them equipped. Still, this is incredible because you got to consider that if it raises Skeleton, Corpse Explosions, and Corpse Tendrils, alone, Raise Skeleton and Explosion is 2 corpses consumed, as it does it every second. So automatically trigger your power for 40% bonus damage every 8 seconds without you just doing anything. You just merely have to exist. Looking at the Mage Ring, for each type of elemental damage you deal, gain 14% increased damage for 4 seconds. Dealing elemental damage refreshes all bonuses. Oh, Ball of Lightning Sword, just mixing in a little bit of fire damage to get even more damage. Hell yeah. Now again, for this, you only have to kill Varshan and they'll be dropping like M&Ms. Now let's get to the new endgame content with the Abattoir of Zir, and that's going to be a bit more complicated, but no worries, I got you covered. First, this is meant for players that have beaten everything. So player complete the final season's journey, aka Duriel, Lilith, level 100, min-max gear, Paragon glyphs, maybe up to 15, that whole thing. Then you get a recipe to create a Bloodforged Sigil tier 1. This is a dungeon, and that dungeon is supposedly hard, and there's 25 tiers to this dungeon. Not 100 as normal Nightmare dungeons, but they said every subsequent one is supposed to be vastly harder. As you complete the tier 1 dungeon, you will get the new Paragon glyph, unlock the recipe for the tier 2 dungeon, and the dungeon drops an Uber Nightmare upgrade totem that is meant to give you tons of glyph XP. Now they said these 25 tiers are going to be incredibly harder, but that's where Tears of Blood comes in. That's the new unique glyph. For every 5 core steps purchased within range, you gain 2% increased damage. So again, int, willpower, dax, whatever is kind of around, this increases your damage. Level 1 glyph grants 50% bonus to all rare nodes within range. And this bonus increases by 10% every 10 levels. It means 10 levels of this Tears of Blood, and this has 200 levels. So every 10 levels you can increase, that's 20 times the 10% increase to bonus to rare nodes. While this is also the level 1 glyph, and the radius increases every 50 levels. So you get another 4 times range increase to this glyph. And I think if you look at this, it seems crazy. Like the glyph seems crazy, considering though that the Nightmare dungeons are supposedly harder, and harder, means that you have to beef up your defense probably, and then squeeze out damage with this glyph to really min-max out. Now the cycle continues. If you unlock the recipe to craft the tier 2, then you can craft the next sigil, go into the next dungeon, get the glyph if you don't have it already, or use the Uber totem to upgrade your glyph, or get the next level of Bloodforged Sigil to then go on. And that then repeats in a cycle. Either you upgrade your glyphs, you go for the next level, or you get the unique glyph you don't have yet. And that is a quite intriguing loop. It's going to be there for 6 weeks and you want to play through it. I do believe this is fantastic bonus playtime for people that have beaten the game already, that may be done, that have already stopped playing. And now with your absolute beefed out up character, you can prepare for this. This is 5th of November happening. And we obviously want to be as efficient as possible. So you finally have something to actually grind for. You're finally something to prepare for. Killing those Duriels, getting those Hail Tines, getting those 925 gears has a reason. You're not mindlessly farming. You're preparing for Abattoir of Lord Zir, so you're truly able to beat it and you're not going to be under-equipped in 2 weeks. Now, there's also the Midwinter Blight event coming that is essentially just for cosmetics and shenanigans. But what's more interesting is the Season 3, which has the headline More Endgame. And here we're especially talking about the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is the World Tier 4 onwards leaderboard. The Gauntlet is a non-linear dungeon, so you can choose multiple ways to go through the dungeon to optimize your results. And the best scores of going through the Gauntlet will land in weekly leaderboards. Yes, there is weekly leaderboards. You can do this alone. You can do this with a team. So it's not like that this is only available for the ultra hardcore grinders. No, the Gauntlet is possible for everyone. You make a high-level character, you have good items, you can play this dungeon. And this dungeon changes on a weekly basis. Every week, also, the top players in the leaderboard will go into the Hall of Ancients, which is a permanent leaderboard where you will land forever with your character and your build. You truly have something to actually try to play towards to. There's a timer as you go through the dungeon, and instead of loot, there's proof of might dropping. You pick this proof of might up to enhance your score at the end of the dungeon, and then at the end there's also loot dropping, so you're not going out empty-handed. But the good thing really is that this is weekly going to be reset. So even if you just log in to play for 1 or 2 days the Gauntlet to get your perfect result, then you're done for the week. And you come next week for the Gauntlet again, you at least have every single week a reason to come back. And then you might see a Helltide pop up or a world boss. You do some Duriels, you might try to get your Doombringer. I already know that this is something that will, for me as a content creator, allow me also throughout the season, every single week, to make a couple of videos. Because it's weekly changing, and weekly I can give you the top 3 builds to beat the current dungeon, for example. So for me, content-wise, this is absolutely amazing. The same goes for the Season of the Blood now with the Abattoir of Zir, giving me even more content to make for all of you, that I can continuously give you good videos. So thank you for, in my case, saving the future of Diablo for me, that I just know what kind of content I can also continuously create for you. What do you think now? Does this really bring back, save the future of Diablo with a new expansion coming, with like them just showing that they're at least know what they're doing? They're also planning new Uber bosses or new endgame content between Lilith and Uber bosses and level 100 kinda. Thumbs up for me. Now, if you want to build to prepare for the Abattoir of Zir, Bloodlands or Blood Surge, both absolutely amazing endgame Lilith bangers.